space that we have held weddings in, corporate meetings, birthday parties, baby showers.
Weddings?
Oh yes.
Corporate?
Actually, we are getting ready for yet another wedding on October 12th. We just had 2 potential wedding clients here last week to look at the space. We've had the Health Alliance, the Chamber, the CVB all hold their young professionals events and their corporate meetings in here. And we offer a discount for nonprofits. So any nonprofit wanting to have its first meeting, the first meeting is free as long as it's under 2 hours.
Wow.
After that, they get a 20% discount on our rates, which are really pretty reasonable. We allow events in this space for, the upper rate is $85 an hour. The lowest is $75 if you go over 7-hour rental. And so $75 an hour for a space like this with the kitchenette and restrooms and all the amenities is about the best deal I think you can get in the Concord area.
Absolutely.
Unless you're looking at one of the city's community rooms, which those are free.
Right.
But yeah, we've had like 5, 6 weddings, like actual, the ceremony and everything plus the reception here in this space.
Wow.
One of them actually was one of our artists who now lives with her husband just up the street in the neighborhood.
Wow.
And she's the sister to Brandy McKenna, who is still in the other building.
So now we're going to talk about some hopefuls.
Yeah.
Miss Sarah, there are a lot of hopes and dreams right here with this area and its potential. Talk to us.
This is an old clear well. There's not a lot to see out here, just a wall. But under this wall, there's a huge space. And I don't think you can probably get it on your video because it's really dark. But it used to hold water. We're hoping in the future it will hold welders and steel artists and metal artists doing sculpture and that kind of thing. And as yet, we don't have a design for that, but that is the vision for that. Also above there is a whole deck where we envision events or possibly partly a neighborhood box garden. There's a lot of potential up there as well. This is what we call the ClearWater market space. The neighborhood has asked consistently for a farmer's market, and so we've talked at a few different points with the Farm Steward Council about a farmer's market in this space. Looks like a traditional farmer's market where it's just vendors of vegetables is not probably going to go just at the outset. So we probably are going to try to get some different types of events, like maybe a Friday night market, beer garden / live concert with local bands up there with some artists or jewelers or artisans selling some of their stuff and farmers selling their vegetables.
And maybe some bands
and
up
maybe
there.
Some bands up there as well.
That would be cool.
We've got a great place for bands to play up there and in here.
Yeah.
So, then there's this building. Now you only see this this opening right here, but that actually stretches the entire length of the market space because it's built right next to it.
Right.
And we did do a design for a pottery center.
Ooh.
So a lot of the calls that I was getting 2 and 3 years ago from the community was, do you have pottery classes? Is there a place for potters to make their stuff? There's a real demand for that in this community. And so we spent a couple of afternoons down in Charlotte talking to the people who do clay works. The architect and I did, and so he's done an entire design for that to become a pottery center. Complete with 2 classrooms and all the equipment, a glazing room and a kiln firing room with all the kilns. That is going to require a lot of funds. So along with our HUD grants, we are going to have to find some other sources of money for that. So that's on my plate, to do a little research. And anybody who's out there who's a grants or donor expert, please call me.
So with that being said, explain to us how this is funded.
So to date, all of the brick and mortar renovations have been funded from HUD grants, HUD being Housing and Urban Development, federal grant dollars that are dispersed through the Community Development Grant Project. So Community Development Building, I can't remember, CBDG. In any case, those community development grants are leveraged. We have an allocation each year, and we have a certain amount of time to hold them so that we can actually save enough for the renovations. So that started in 2009 with the renovations they did to get the top level of the building that you just saw. And then we had another phase in 2014. We had another phase in 2017 to develop the community room where you're about to meet the Art Guild folks. And that did the community room, which we now call the second gallery, and the kitchen and the bathrooms. And then we've just completed phase 4, which is the most of the rest of our lower levels, so that we can have a sort of a informal classroom space, a computer design studio, so we can have classes on computer design, and 2 more studios. So it's sort of, you know, piece by piece, we're coming at it as we can allocate our HUD funding.
Wonderful. And we'll get to the tour where the rest is hopes and dreams are coming true.
And by the way, shout out to my colleagues in the planning department, because all of that HUD funding is managed and is also allocated to local housing projects, affordable housing projects that are carried out by our community development team. And this is our historic building, the one built in 1920, still standing here. We got artists renting studios in there. One of them has been with us since the very beginning, Randy McKenna. But right now, you'll see these are brand new doors. If you back up a little bit, you'll see the old barn doors from way back in the day.
Bless you.
And so we managed to save these barn doors. We do try to save some architectural remnants as we do the renovations, because they tend to be really interesting to see how the building was. We've got that covered patio. Right now people are parking in it. But when people rent this second gallery for an event, they also get this covered patio and access to the greenway. And so that's a great event space for days when it's nice out.
And the greenway.
The greenway path is the Gibson Village Greenway, which stretches all the way to Academy Recreation Center along the creek there. It's a really nice path to walk. So in here for their weekly Tuesday Open Studios project day is the Cabarrus Art Guild. Cabarrus Art Guild has just formally been notified that they will have our new studio.
Well, ClearWater provides us a place to meet and to organize our activities. And what you see here is one of our art shows in the background as we walk down the...
Okay. So, is there a message that you would like to tell the community about ClearWater? Like, what makes it so special, and what do you think that the community should know about ClearWater?
ClearWater is a combination of a lot of artists. They're all different kinds of artists. They're very diverse in approach to art. It is the most fabulous group of artists I've ever seen anywhere. So if you want to get exposure to art, this is a good place to come. We felt as an art guild that our mission is education, public awareness, and that type of thing. That this place, because of what it is and where it is here in the city of Concord, that we would certainly fit in our mission, and Clearwater's mission align really well.
Wonderful.
So this is the kitchen that's attached to the second gallery, and this is sort of one of our great little amenities. It's our first kitchen with a full oven. So right around the corner we have an oven and stove and a microwave, and that's the first time we've had such a thing at Clearwater.
So is the space rentable as well?
Well, comes with the rental of that room, is use and access to this kitchen and that covered patio that you just saw.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And now we will enter into the depths. Also the rental includes bathrooms, so people don't have to worry about restrooms. And this is a nice view of that covered patio.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great space. So we had a local lawyer, Zach Moritz, just had his wife's birthday party here a couple of weeks ago, and they had a live band out there with Cabarrus Brewing and serving beer, and they said it was a really wonderful event. So this is what we've just finished. Very exciting. This is all space that we were not able to use before now, and now we will be able to use it. This is one of the new studios. That's one of our old sliding doors, which we were able to use just as a sort of a curio object. It's not a working door anymore. And this is going to be the largest studio that we have, with the most windows that any one studio has. I know that Gordon has his eye on this, and if his success continues, we should be able to see him in this space. Then we have the space that the Art Guild is going to. This is just going to be their sort of home base of operations. It's a small studio, but it serves the need. Then as we go through here, we've got what will be reopened. This is now closed up, but there's a whole other side that we weren't able to tackle on this go around. And that's going to be reopened when we do get that renovated on the other side. For now, this space will be sort of an open, multi-use, semi-informal classroom space that we have available, which we didn't have before. And then once we get our formal classrooms in the next door side of the basement, we might sort of subdivide this into 2 more studios. And then this, let me put the lights on real quick because you can see the old pipes in the studio through the window there. Yeah, those are the pipes that brought the water in, and this was one giant big sink basically.
So this was all filled with water.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be a classroom. How cool is that?
Yeah. So then you had some questions earlier about future plans. And
Yes! Y'all, this is by far probably one of my favorite parts.
This is where I usually bring people down. You know, they come down this old stairwell, and all those guys at the operations center now who remember working in this building will remember coming down this stairwell.
Yeah.
It looks a little different down here then. So this is what I like to call the dungeon when I'm giving people a tour, and you'll see why. And this is, for now, our before picture. This is what the other side you just saw used to look like, except it had some windows. So now that we've gotten the cement beams shored up with iron, this is where we have designs for 2 classrooms with a partition in the middle that can be retracted, could be rented out for corporate convention. Then in this corner is where we're really hoping to get, finally, some of our performance art and music people into the building. We haven't been able to do that because sound travels so easily through the building. But the plan is to find the money and then insulate this with soundproofing and get this to be a recording studio. Woo! And I've already had 2 people in the community who just came to me out of the blue and said that they had recording equipment if we had a space. So kind of got their contact info waiting until we can get this online. It's very exciting.